by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
It's time to hit the pick. Touchdown! Sports betting, fantasy football, and the latest NFL news. Featuring Loud Esmond and Christian Giordani. Bet on us to make you a better bettor.
What?
It's time to hit the pick.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hit the Pick. I'm Christian Giordani. Alongside with me is Loud Esmond, co-founder of HitThePick.com. And right now, if you go to HitThePick.com, we have basketball championship picks for only $30, all cappers through championship games. And we have an all-in package for only $99 through April 15th. So make sure to go HitThePick.com.
That is every pick from every capper through the 15th for less than $100. That, I mean, you're not going to find that deal anywhere. Sorry, just not going to do it. And these are guys. I mean, look, I consider myself a good handicapper. I consider the rest of those guys great handicappers. So you're getting picks from some of the best in the business. So take advantage of it while you can, because once this site is oversubscribed, which it will be in not too long, then the prices are going to go up. That's just the way that it works. All right, so football tonight. I just said it. Football tonight. The United Football League opening game of their 10-week season, plus there's 3 weeks of playoffs, takes us almost to the end of June. And by then, the Canadian Football League will be started. So, hey, in truth, football is now started from now through the Super Bowl. Just so everybody rejoice. Yay! We've got football all the way through the Super Bowl every weekend. All right. So you've got the St. Louis Battlehawks, very good team last year and for the last 2 years. They're up against the Houston Roughnecks, who are not very good. It's a very different story for the two teams in terms of stability. The Roughnecks have kept most of their coaching staff and most of their key players intact. The bad news is they sucked. They scored 15.8 points per game last year. That's the third worst offensive output in modern spring football history. Not just last year, but historically at 15.8 points per game. The St. Louis Battlehawks were prolific, scored a ton of touchdowns. They were a great team, but A.J. McCarron is gone, the quarterback, and Bruce Grodkowski, the offensive coordinator who made that thing run, he's gone too. So you got big changes at that team. And so my bet on this game tonight, under 37.5 points, under 37.5. I think Houston is still going to suck on offense, and the Battlehawks are going to struggle to find some footing because they've made so many massive changes on that side of the ball. Plus, you got to remember, there's no preseason games for these guys. This is literally the first game action these coaches, these players, these teams have ever seen together, because the turnover every year on these teams is normally huge. And there's some reasons why you should be very concerned with some of the recent coaching turnover. We'll get to that in just a minute. But the pick tonight, under 37.5. If I was going to pick a side, I wouldn't. It's a box of chocolates. I have no idea how both these teams are going to be. But I do know one thing. The first week of the UFL season usually sees a lot of low-scoring games. So I'm going to just ride the under and the trend and my belief that both these teams are going to have growing pains on offense. Christian, does that sound like sound thinking to you?
Yeah, it's a very good form of thinking. You know, it's hard to relate stats over from season to season. And like you said, week one, there's growing pains where it could hinder scoring, but there's also, you can look at it the flip side where chaos happens in week one as well.
Right.
So yes, the under is the likely in this game.
The under is the likely play in this game. In fact, I would lean under in all of these games this weekend. Lean. Now, let me talk about betting strategy generally in the UFL. A lot of strange things happen in spring football. And just to tell you how strange, 2 coaches have left their teams in the last few days, literally a week or less before the opening game of the season. The coach of the Memphis Showboats, Ken Wisenhunt, just walked away. Didn't give a reason. I'm out. I'm taking an indefinite leave of absence. That was last week. Just a couple of days ago. Now Ken Wisenhunt had just been added as the coach this year. And keep in mind, 5 years ago, Ken Wisenhunt was walking the sidelines of the Arizona Cardinals as the head coach. 5 years ago, he was the head coach of an NFL team. This year, he just walked away from a coaching job in the UFL. So, wow. Okay. That might tell you, and the Memphis Showboats were the worst team in the league last year. And so that, honestly, I think he just didn't want his name associated with how bad they're going to be and decided to hang it up. Now, even worse, get this. So one of the most well-attended teams in the UFL is the Washington Defenders. Their coach, oh my God, Reggie Barlow, the coach who has been the coach of that team, very popular for the past 2 years, one of the best defenses in the league. He not only left to go to Tennessee State, he took his would-be replacement and the offensive coordinator with him. Oh my God. Shannon Harris, who just been named the interim head coach of the Defenders, and offensive coordinator Fred Keiss are both going to Nashville to join Barlow at Tennessee State University. And in a tweet, Barlow said, "Yeah, I'm not done. There's more coaches I'm going to be pulling from the team." So he then got the O-line coach, the D-line coach, and the special teams coach, and the defensive backfield coach. So I don't know who's going to be coaching for the Washington Defenders this weekend, but it's going to be the ball boy. I mean, there is not much left, Christian.
Yeah.
Have you heard of anybody doing anything like this?
No. This is, I will say, this is the first time for me in my lifetime, but this is something that can derail a team for the whole season. You just gutted. Their whole coaching staff just got gutted to Tennessee State.
And it's not like 2 weeks out. It's 3 days out.
Opening day is today. I don't know.
They play Sunday.
I don't know what they're going to do for the rest of the season. This, in my opinion, definitely hinders their odds of winning the championship.
Yeah, no, it's devastating. Let me just make sure. Yes, they play. Okay, so get this. The best team in the league by far and away is the Birmingham Stallions. The Stallions have won the championship the past 2 years in spring football. Skip Holtz is their coach. Very stable coaching. He's been there with the same staff, a lot of the same core players for all 3 years. They are the favorite to win the championship at plus 200. The Defenders have to play them Sunday. Good luck with that. So my second pick of the opening UFL weekend is an easy one. And of all the picks of the weekend, this is my top pick. The Birmingham Stallions are minus 7.5 against the DC Defenders. And I say, yeah, you know what? I'd never say bet the house on a UFL game because so much weird stuff happens. But if there's a lock in a UFL game, this is it. You have the most stable, best team playing a team that was not very good to begin with, and then their whole coaching staff just left. So good luck with that. Plus, the Defenders lost a bunch of players on their defense, which was the strength of the team. So, yeah, that's the last game of the weekend. That's Sunday And I love I love the Birmingham Stallions there. It's going to take me a bit to sort of get these names easily coming out of my mouth again, because it is not, you don't think off the top of your head, Birmingham Stallions, the Memphis Showboats. I mean, it's just not like,
doesn't roll off the tongue just yet.
Yeah, like the Los Angeles Rams or the New England Patriots or the New York Jets or Giants. I mean, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, Birmingham, what are they? Stallions, that's what they are. Okay, so those are my first two picks in the UFL. Let's talk some NFL, and then I'll get to the other UFL picks on the weekend.
And just to echo a little bit what you said with Birmingham, Birmingham is a better team. They kept the majority of their roster from last season, and they surpass DC in every statistical stat by far, only allowing 10 more yards in opponents than them. But yeah, in the NFL, we've been out for, let's say, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah,
about a month. In that month, we have missed a lot of major signings. One of them being Devontae Adams to the Rams. We have DK Metcalf.
I knew that was coming up. I knew that was coming up.
Yeah, we got a bunch to name through. Let's just rattle off the big ones going ahead. We have Devontae Adams to the Rams, Joey Bosa to the Bills, Devontae Adams to the Steelers, Cooper Kupp breaks my heart to the Seahawks, Jonathan Allen to the Vikings, Aaron Rodgers being cut. Still, Geno Smith is a Raider and Sam Darnold is a Seahawk. The NFL has a lot of different faces on new teams in just a month's difference.
I will miss Lockett and Metcalf from the Seahawks because I live in Seahawk land. And, I know things change. It's the NFL. It's not for long league. I understand. But they were such a good duo for so long. And, of course, Geno Smith gone too. Now Sam Darnold, the quarterback in Seattle. I think Seattle's in for a bit of a bumpy ride, Christian, this season.
Yeah.
I don't think it's – Sam Darnold went from a really good situation into a really tough situation.
And despite how different Seattle is and on paper they seem worse, I still think they're the second best team in the NFC West.
Is that because you think the 49ers have lost that much?
Well, the 49ers have been gutted. I truly think the 49ers going into next season are going to be the worst team in the NFC West. Worse than the Cardinals and worse than the Seahawks.
Well, they got a hell of a coach, and they still have a lot of weapons. But I think a lot of moves they were making is because they're going to have to pay their quarterback $60 million a year starting next year.
Yeah, and it's, can we officially say that championship window is closed?
I think it's closed for 2 years.
2 years.
I think they need 2 years to retool. Now, okay, but you got to look at it this way. Either the 49ers have a plan where they think they can build around paying this quarterback $60 million a year, or what are they doing? Because, let me put the question to you. If you are the 49ers have a choice. Let's make you their general manager.
All right, stepping in.
So you could either start letting go of players like they lost a couple key players on defense. They lost Debo, and plan on paying that quarterback $60 million a year for 10 years. Or do you not pay the quarterback and leave that position open and hold on to the pieces? To me, it looks like the decision's been made. They're letting go of the pieces. And if McCaffrey will not be a 49er by the end of the year.
I completely agree. I think the value he has is how much he gets paid isn't just being returned in the value he has, not because of the product he can put on the field, but because of his unavailability to be on it.
I think that the 49ers are counting on the fact that they will get a team to overpay for McCaffrey in draft picks towards the trade deadline.
Yeah, I think that's a likely strategy, and San Francisco is they're gonna pay Brock Purdy. He's gonna get his contract due, and it's gonna be a tough year for the 49ers. It might be a tough 2-3 years going ahead, but you kind of have to pay your guy who took you to a Super Bowl not only a year ago.
Yeah, but this is the NFL now, which is look at Cincinnati. Look at what they just did. Where are they going for salary cap money? Because what do they have? They have $50 million a year wrapped up in the quarterback, $30 million a year in one receiver, and $20 million in another.
Oh, no. $40 million in one receiver.
Oh, sorry.
And 30 in the other. They're paying T. Higgins and Jamar Chase combined a year $70 million.
And 50 for the quarterback.
Joe Burrow, yeah.
So almost half their salary cap
is going to three players.
It's in three players. You know what? How do you improve your defense?
They won't, and that's the thing. And this is the strategy I think the Bengals are going to go for, and I think it's going to be their demise. They're going to try to beat defense with a better offense. They fully sold into their offense. There's a lot of rumors of them about trading up for Ashton Genty for a good running back position. I think their defense is going to struggle again last year. And the only way I can see them having success is if Joe Burrow puts up 40 points every game.
Yeah, and that's a lot to ask. All right, let's go back to the UFL for a minute. So there's two games we've already picked, which was the game that has already gone off on tonight, under 37.5. We just went to break, 10 minutes left in the first quarter. It is still 0-0. St. Louis has been moving the ball, but it looks like they've bogged down at around the 35 of the Houston Roughnecks, maybe settling for a field goal. We're looking at a measurement here. And then the last game of the weekend in the UFL is of course, the Birmingham Stallions, the favorite to win it all again, who's won it the past 2 years. Just call them the Patriots of the UFL. Well, of like 10 years ago, not the Patriots today. They're playing the DC Defenders, who have just been gutted coaching-wise. Head coach, offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, O-line, D-line, you name it, they're gone. And a few days before the season starts, and so -7.5 there, I really like for the Birmingham Stallions. Now, the game that I feel the least about, the Antonio Brahmas at the Arlington Renegades. I just, for fun, went over in this game because Christian made a point earlier, which is games early in the season, you can get chaos. And this is my chaos game of the week. This is the game where there's a pick six, where there's a fumble recovery for a touchdown, where there's a blocked field goal for an extra point. I mean, this is the one because both these teams are so bad that I could see just complete chaos in this game. So I'm over 37.5 in that one. But if I was to rank my picks, that's the one that I would put the least money on. Michigan Panthers are at the Memphis Showboats. The Panthers are actually the second highest pick to win it all. They are plus 650. They have a hellacious defense. Well, they did last year. I think it's going to be pretty good this year. Mike Nolan, he's an NFL head coach. They're returning their quarterback. And then the Memphis Showboats are another team where their head coach just a couple days ago said, "No mas, get out." So I think he knows something that we don't, which is, oh my God, the Showboats suck. So Michigan Panthers on Saturday, -6.5 at the Showboats is my other pick. So to recap, tonight we've got, let's go the other way. Michigan Panthers against the Showboats. -6.5. Antonio Brahma's Arlington Renegades over 37.5. I have no confidence in that. That's just me throwing a dart. Stallions -7.5 against the Defenders. That's my pick of the week. And tonight I'm under 37.5 in this game. And it looks like it's a turnover. The Battlehawks have just picked off the Houston Roughnecks around the 40-yard line, and we'll see if they can do anything with it. All right, Christian, other NFL news.
Other NFL news, let's go back to the signings we talked about very quickly. Davante Adams to the Rams. I do want to get your opinion on this.
I feel terrible for Davante Adams. I really do. The guy is an incredible talent. He had to deal with Aaron Rodgers, diva. Then he had a great situation, and he was with his best friend and a great quarterback in Derek Carr. And they had that horrible idiot little man coach from the Patriots who has been terrible everywhere, who then ran Carr out of town. And then Davante Adams is like, what the hell am I doing here? And then they trade him to the Jets, which is a clown show and terrible. And now he has to move again and go to the Rams. You know what I hope? Here's what I hope, Christian. For you, for Davante Adams, for justice in the universe, the Rams will win a Super Bowl this year.
Hey, that is what I like to hear.
That is the justice that Davante Adams deserves, don't you think?
I completely agree. Davante, I had very mixed feelings of Davante coming to LA. With him coming, obviously that put the final stamp onto Cooper Kupp not being a Ram for life. And I've come to accept that.
Let's be honest. Cooper Kupp is white.
And?
Well, so he sucks as a receiver.
That is an outdated stereotype. He would be a great corner.
You know who my favorite player was growing up? Fred Biletnikoff. Fred Biletnikoff was this long-haired hippie wide receiver for the Raiders. White guy, famous for stickum. You weren't born until he was like out of the league for 10 years. But yeah, he was slow. He was awkward. All he did was get open and catch touchdowns. And, you know, it's the same way. The other guy on the other side of the field from Fred Biletnikoff was Cliff Branch. Branch was the black guy. And everybody loved Cliff Branch. He could run, he could catch, he could jump. He was fast. Fred Biletnikoff was none of it. But just saying. No, Cooper Kupp was too white. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I'm very happy Davante's here. I think he's going to help the game with the Rams.
So let's look at that division. The Seattle Seahawks are not going to be very good. The Arizona Cardinals, I do not believe in their quarterback. I'm sorry, Christian. I just don't. He's fun to watch. It's like a video game sometimes, but no, he's not the guy. The 49ers are taking a step back. I think the Rams own that division. I don't think there's a question that the Rams are going to win the NFC West.
Now, I will go a step further into that. I think there's only one team that can take the NFC completely from us, and that's Philadelphia. So I think that makes us the second best team in the NFC.
Philadelphia got gutted on defense.
Yeah, but they still have one of the best offenses in the league.
They do, but they got gutted on defense. And that's tough. The Detroit Lions are the team that I think is the real danger. But guess who plays the best out of any team in the league against the Detroit Lions?
Los Angeles Rams.
Right. So, you know, I think it's a Rams, Eagles, Lions thing, except for the dark horse, the New Orleans Saints.
I thought you say Washington Commanders.
The New Orleans Saints, man, they've made some good moves. They've shored up the defense. They've shored up the offensive line. They've got some weapons for one of the best quarterbacks, most underrated in the league, in Derek Carr.
There we go.
if they can win that division, which I think is highly likely, Michael Penix going to have some growing pains. The Falcons aren't all that. Tampa Bay, they've gotten old. And then the Carolina Panthers, I don't think are a real danger. Let's keep in mind, the top scoring team in week 1 and week 2 in the NFL last year was
the New Orleans Saints.
The New Orleans Saints. And then they got hit with every injury at every major position you could imagine. So, if the New Orleans Saints can stay healthy, I think they've got a real shot at being in the mix in the playoffs. But I do think the just thing for the universe is for Devontae Adams
1 minute
to win the NFL championship this year. All right, Christian, take us out.
From your lips to God ears, let's go Rams, let's go Devontae.
And I am close to God, just saying.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Hit the Pick. Make sure to go to hitthepick.com. Once again, basketball championship picks, only $30, and an all-in package for $99. That goes for all of our cappers. We will see you guys next week for UFL Week 2.